Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Rabbi zidni ilma. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon everyone. I hope that you will be feeling well today. And the purpose behind which you come to this class are the goals which you have or the expectation which you have from this session. One of the expectation is how to polish your English language skills. So I hope that your punctuality, your regularity, your interest and motivation, it will make it possible. When you come regularly and you practice English here, you speak in English, you listen to English, so this is how you will polish your English language skills. As we know the importance of English for a Pakistani student, that English is an important language for a Pakistani student because most of the subjects we study they are in English language. So when a student doesn't know how to read a book or how to understand it, so then it becomes difficult for him to pass exams or to get degree and to get education. So it is a kind of hurdle for those who don't know how to write, how to read, how to speak. So therefore it is important that we must work on all the 4 core basic skills. We must work on speaking, we must work on the reading, writing, listening, and the 2 areas, grammar and vocabulary. We should also focus on all these areas. But according to the expert, according to the language expert, the view that whenever we are learning a language, so we must focus on speaking or fluency. That should be our top priority. Because when we speak a language, so we come to know whether I can speak it or I cannot speak it. And then we think about it, why I cannot speak, so why I cannot speak, what is the problem, what are the difficulties. And then I search out for the solutions. So then I find the solution and then I practice it regularly. So this is how slowly and gradually I start speaking. In the start, and yes, it is difficult in the start, it's not easy. But through my dedication, through my passion, through my interest, when I practice it on daily basis regularly, so this is how I make it easy and this is how I make it possible. So as we know, there is nothing impossible in life, everything is quite possible, but if we are dedicated and if we are committed and if we are passionate about something. So when we love something, when we want to develop some skills or some knowledge, so it is very much possible, but it needs our time and needs our efforts. Or it needs our daily practice. So how can we improve our speaking skill? So there are 7 simple ways. If we when we learn these ways and then we start practicing these ways, so this is how slowly and gradually we will develop our speaking skill and we will become a great speaker of English language. So the first one is listening. If we want to improve our speaking skill, then we must listen a lot. We must listen to a lot of people. Those who talk in English, we must listen to them. If they are our friends, if they are our teachers, if they are anyone else. But if we have the chance and opportunity, if somebody speaks, so we must listen to that person and we must pay attention to each and every word and each and every detail and each and every idea. So when we develop active listening skill, so this is how we will learn the way the person talk. When we focus on the words as well as the pronunciation, as well as the tone, the pitch, the facial expression, the body language, when we will focus on all these areas, so this is how we will also start speaking like that very person, and then it will definitely improve our speaking skill. So if we want to improve our speaking skill, then we must listen. We can also listen to English news channels, if there are some English news channels available. So there are so many English channels, but there are Pakistani English channels, there are Indian English channels, even BBC, Al Jazeera, CNN. There are so many channels. And documentaries, if we can get documentaries, or if there are some stories in English, if we can listen to those stories, or novels. There are audiobooks nowadays. People they mostly listen to audiobooks because of lack of time, because they don't have time. So when they are traveling, so they cannot read, but they can easily listen to different books. So this is how they work. They cover so many books. They doesn't take their time. They don't waste their time because they travel at the one hand, and at the other hand they listen to audiobooks. So it makes the task easier for them, and this is how they develop their speaking skill. Now, so listening is important for developing speaking skill. The second way to improve your speaking skill is imitate. When you hear somebody, and when you listen to a lot of documentaries, a lot of stories, a lot of people, and a lot of news channels, after that you must start imitating. What is imitation? Imitation means when if somebody talk in a particular way, in a unique way, in a particular style, with a particular accent, so just talk like that very person. Use the same words in the same style. So this is called imitation. So imitation is also important for developing improving your speaking skill or developing your speaking skill. So when you make it your habit, if somebody talk, so imitation is possible only when you listen with keen interest. So it also shows your interest in the language, in the words, in the expression. So when you listen to somebody and then whatever he has shared, you also talk like them. So it will also develop your speaking skill. The third important thing for improving your speaking skill is reading. Read. When you read books, when you read magazine, when you read newspapers, so it will also improve your speaking skill. So reading is also important for learning a language or for improving your speaking skill. So read a lot of things, especially read those stories, read those books, those passages you are interested in. For example, if you are interested in computer, so you must read computer stories about computer, information about computer. If you are interested in literature, then you must read literature stories about literature. If you are interested in religion, so you should start reading religion. So when you read the thing which you are interested in, so it will, and you read a lot, so it will definitely improve your speaking skill. The fourth important thing is reflect. You must reflect. Now, when you speak with somebody, or when you speak with yourself, when you speak to yourself, or when you speak in front of a mirror, in front of somebody, so now you should reflect upon, you should think about how do you talk? How do you talk? This is called reflection. How do you talk? Do you talk correctly or incorrectly? Do you talk with a style? Do you speak with a style? Do you speak with an accent? So how do you speak? Do you speak slowly? Do you speak loudly? So do you speak beautifully? So this is called reflection. When we reflect upon our language, our conversation, our words, this is another important way of how to improve speaking skills. So we must reflect. Reflective mindset is important for improvement. Those people improve easily who have reflective mindset. Whatever they do, they reflect upon that, whether they did it well or they didn't do it well. So when we develop this mindset, reflective mindset, so we will always think about our improvement. We will always think about our whatever we do in our life, and this is how we will come to know about our strength, as well as we will also come to know about area for improvement. And once we identify area for improvement and we work on that area, so then it becomes easy to develop that, to improve that area. So reflection is another way of how to improve our speaking skill. The next important thing is prepare. Prepare yourself, make preparation for when you talk to somebody, when you want to have a conversation with somebody, or when you want to give a presentation in front of the class, in front of a gathering or audience. So you must make preparation for that. Now, first of all, you should, on what topic you are preparing, you must know about the topic. So you should collect a little bit information about that very topic. And you should know about your audience as well, that what kind of people will listen to you. So you must prepare according to your audience, that what kind of people are there and what is my topic for discussion. So when you prepare the topics, you collect relevant information about the topic, and then you share it in front of a crowd or a gathering. So this is how you will improve your speaking skill. So preparation is the key. You must prepare, and prepare every time. You must prepare yourself. Work on your vocabulary building. Work on your grammar building. Work on other skills, pronunciation, and all these things. So all the time work on all these skills. If you are preparing for an exam like TOEFL, a proficiency test like TOEFL or IELTS, so before that you must prepare yourself. Don't go to those tests without preparation, because it will be the wastage of money and it will be the wastage of time if you attempt those tests without preparation. So before attempting those tests, you must have enough preparation, and you must have the confidence of getting high band in those proficiency tests. The next important ways is speak. Speak to people. Speaking is through speaking we can improve our speaking skill. So when we speak with ourselves, when we speak to other people, so this is how we will improve our skill and we will develop it. So speaking is also the key. So whenever you get a chance, you must speak to other people. You must, whenever you see a person is interested in speaking in English, so you must talk to that person. You must spend time with him and you must talk to him. So this is how you will develop your speaking skill. Practice is another important tip. So practice in speaking is the same thing, but practicing means you practice all the time. You are interested in speaking, so you speak it or you use your English language most of the time whenever you get an opportunity. So that is practice. So these are some simple ways, and when you act upon these ways and you practice it, so this is how you will develop your speaking skills. Now, there are some activities for teachers. If a teacher wants that his students should speak well, so there are some activities, and if the teacher introduces these activities inside the class, so the student will start speaking easily. So number one activity is called role play. Now what is role play? In role play, normally students are asked to perform. To perform, like one student is given one role, like one student is given the role of a teacher, another student given the role of a student, and they are given a task and now discuss something about the class. So this is called role play. That role are given to some students, different role are given. So it's a kind of acting. So when the teacher they give opportunities to the students in the form of role play, so the student they get the confidence and they start speaking in English language. So this is one of the activity which is effective throughout the world, and normally all over the world it is being practiced. So therefore, if you want to teach English, so you must incorporate this activity. The second is discussion. Discussion is also important for developing speaking skill. When we discuss topic with the students, or when the students start discussing a topic, so this also enables students to start speaking and to improve their speaking skill. The third activity is called debate. Debate, when students give speeches on topics or different topics, so they debate a topic, they come up with their own arguments in the favor or against of the topic. So this is called how to debate some topic. So when some student they speak against a topic and some student in the favor of the topic, for example, mobile. If it is now mobile, whether mobile is good or it is not good. So when divide the class into two team or two groups, and we say that okay, you will give us you will tell us the advantages of mobile, and the second class will tell us the disadvantages of mobile. So this is called debating. So this is also very important, very good activity, very useful activity for student to improve their language speaking skill. Apart from debate, there is another important activity that is called picture describing. Students are asked, for example, there is a picture in the class, so students are asked that you come and say some few words about this picture. What do you see in the picture? What is there in the picture? How many people are there in the picture, or what is the color of the picture? So normally these kind of questions are, what do you see in the picture? So normally these kind of questions are asked, and the student they tell something about that very picture, if there is any picture. So picture describing is also an important activity, useful activity, and it also enables students to start speaking, and they also through picture describing they can improve their speaking skill. Another important activity is storytelling. When you ask students to tell a story in English, so storytelling is also an important activity, and through storytelling we can also improve our speaking skill. So students, whatever story a student has learned, when you ask him the class that who knows any story, or who can tell any story to class. So if you tell a story, if the teacher tell a story to the class, so this is also storytelling. If the teacher tell a story, or the students, there is a student and he tells a story, so in both ways it is important for, because story is interesting, everybody listen to it attentively and everybody get the information, the words easily, the idea, the storyline, everybody can follow the action, the story, everything. So therefore the student find it interesting, and then the student also starts speaking. And then when a teacher tell a story, and then the teacher asks question about the story, that what was the theme of the story, how many characters were there. First of all, the teacher asks whether the story was interesting, and what message did you get from the story, what was the message there, how many characters were there, what was the theme of the story. So these kind of questions, when the teacher asks these kind of questions from the students, and the student reply to these questions, so this is how students will start speaking, and they will improve, and it will improve their speaking skill. The last activity, that is called interview. When students are interviewed about their life, about the purpose of their life, about if they are preparing for an exam, and about their study, so about the class. So this method is called interview. So interview activity is also important for developing speaking skill of the student. So these are the different activities. When we practice these activities, so we can easily develop our speaking skill, and we can become a great language speaker. There are so many other tips. There are so many tips, like if you want to improve our speaking skills, so we must practice English all the time. Secondly, we should read a vocabulary book, having some good useful words. Vocabulary book is also important. Record your voice. Whenever you talk on a topic, and record that, so and then listen to it. So this is also a very good technique of how to improve speaking skill. Reflect on your conversation and we'll discuss all these things. When we want to work on the oral skill or the speaking skill of the student, so we should encourage conversation. We should make eye contact with the students, and we should remind the student to talk loudly and articulate clearly. This is also very important, that sometimes students they speak slowly, so and they do not articulate correctly, clearly, so we must also focus on these things. So these were the different tips for improving speaking. I share with you 7 simple tips and also share some activities with you people. So now have you practiced some of these activities, some of these tips you yourself as well? Have you have practiced all these things, and whether you have found these things useful for yourself, or you haven't practiced and you will start practicing it? So if you practice it already and you know about the importance of it and you are still practicing it, so it's good. But if there is any tip or an activity which you haven't practiced, so you must start practicing that activity and then see how quickly you improve your speaking skill. So hope you find this topic useful, and whatever you have learned, or if you start practicing it, so I hope inshallah you will improve your speaking skill. Now I'd like to listen to you people that how did you find the topic today? How was the topic for you? And what activity or what